Fallout 4, we're here on Xbox Series S taking a look at mods. Mods that will hopefully improve, drastically change, and alter your experience within Fallout 4. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So we've got a selection of mods here. If you watched my Series X, I guess you would say mod video, that one will be very similar to this, but with some slight alterations and some slight changes to the experience in order to better match, well, the Series S console, because it is, it's a weaker console, right? Like, at the end of the day, the performance and stuff like that just isn't quite the same, and the resolution is lowered quite a bit. So let's dive in and talk a little bit about the mod lists I have going on here. But first off, I do want to say I'm showing off a very good density mod in regards to like the greenery and stuff. And I will have an alternate option for that that's a little easier going, because I do notice that this does take a performance hit on the Series S. So we're going to pop up the mods load order and talk about this. And then after this is done, we're going to showcase the different mods, give you an idea of everything, and dive in there. So I have Sim Settlements off. So Sim Settlements is like a really cool one, and there's lots of like add-ons and variants to this that you can download. And it's really cool, which is why I wanted to highlight it, because it's like a more dynamic settlement system within the game. But like Series S really can't quite handle this one, if you get what I mean. So that one is off. Now I have Green in the Commonwealth on, which is I think my favorite mod in the sense that it makes the game look really, really great. Now this is very demanding, particularly for the Series S. So I would also maybe recommend going with Simple Green. So this is one, I believe I also have this on the PlayStation. Primarily designed for PS4, yeah. That would be the one. So this one is very light. Like obviously, like Green in the Commonwealth is like 280 megabits. This is under a megabit because it's for PlayStation. Because PlayStation they can't do modding like we can on Xbox. So this one is under a megabit, and it's very light. So in a scenario here where you've got like very, very green, bushy trees, lots of overgrowth, it's just kind of grass. Which sounds kind of lame, but it's actually a pretty nice, subtle effect. And it's a lot easier going on the performance level in comparison to the Green in the Commonwealth. So if you can stomach maybe a bit more performance drops and some more performance issues, particularly downtown, but you want something that is thicker, more realistic, something that has life to it, unlike the oddly dead, desolate world of Fallout 4, this is the mod to go with. But I'm just saying, if you are wanting to get something where that performance level is a lot better, that is the option to go for. Now, I will also mention that the Series S, with my mods and everything like that, it's very slow loading. Like, I think even slower than the Series X version. And, yeah, we'll talk about another thing a little bit later on top of that aspect of it, but it is a lot slower to load. And for general good practice, you should have your highest like megabit files at the top. For whatever reason, these two they don't like anything being above them, which is odd, except for Sim Settlements for whatever reason. So I mean, the mod order to a degree has like a mind of its own, but for faster loading, you put the largest things at the top, and it kind of makes things go faster. So just so you are aware of that aspect. So let's keep going. I love the settlement building, so I have a lot of settlement like things. Homemaker is really cool. You get a lot of like prefab stuff. You get a more agreeable, fun customization set up for structural things. It's really quite in depth. I quite like that one, and there's some that I pair with it, and you'll see those as we go through the list. True Storms, which I think is kind of a must-have. It's got some really crazy new sounds and environmental things to the weathering, so you can have like more dynamic storms, more chaotic sort of radiation type things going on, and it's not silly. like you might think, oh, it's like a silly chaotic storms of this darkscape, and it's like, no, it's more. There are a lot of crazier storms because it is an apocalypse, but they're very well done. It's very natural in the environment, and I think True Storms is a very, very good must-have. Then we have Commonwealth Cuts. So this is like 200 hairs, over 200 hairs for Fallout 4. So you get a massive selection. This is another one I always highly recommend. It's a large file size, but you get a lot of hairstyles. And for individuals that are really into like the character customization, everything like that, it's a great selection of things to have. Then there's renovated furniture. And there's a pairing for renovated furniture, which is renovated decorations. So that's a new one I've added, which adds rugs and curtains and kind of like nice, comfy environmental things as the renovated decorations. And that pairs really nicely with the renovated furniture. So renovated furniture is like, as it says right there, like 338 tables, chairs, stools, couches. Like you just get a ton, and I mean a ton of new options. So, and it looks pretty good. So that one, renovated furniture, pairs with the renovated decorations, pairs with Homemaker. So you just get like a really comfy set of home customization things. So next up we have Star Wars Merge. So this one I really love. Do not send me any more requests. So this one is, if you're a Star Wars fan, lightsabers, all these different personalized lightsabers for all these different characters. Really, really cool. Like Kyle Katarn and everything like that. Hilts, different colored like crystals and everything like that. It's super, super cool. And then we have the Eyes of Beauty. So this one helps with the eyes of the game, like improves the eye quality, texturing, and everything like that. And it's a game where you spend a lot of time talking with people and looking into their eyes, as that's part of talking. So the Eyes of Beauty is a really, really good mod that I quite like. So I have the Nora Companion here, which was one I looked at and didn't download before, and one that was recommended to me. This one, with my mod order, seems to cause crashes. So, like, this one's cool, so if you want to put this one in your order, that's why I got it here, but I don't have it, like, installed, as to say. That's why it doesn't have the check mark, because I wanted to highlight it. It's basically so you can have, you know, because there's the male and the female characters you choose when you begin a run of Fallout 4. So this one allows you to also, like, you can play as the male character and then have Nora, your wife in the game or whatever, as your companion. And, you know, she's got the voices, everything like that. It's really, really cool. The voice acting and stuff for this character is really quite phenomenal, too. Sierra 117, so this is like Master Chief Mark V Halo skins, which is really, really cool. Wide variety of colors. Now, this is a different version, so this is a pip-pad supported one. On the Xbox Series X version, I did just the Redux. But I wanted to highlight that there is a pip-pad supported version as well that you can download that like is better for the Pip-Boy. Then we got colored highlights. So this one pairs itself with the Commonwealth Cuts and allows you to have different coloring styles on top of that. So there are other mods. There's the Zella's Hair Dye Collection, which they kind of put in there. So that's another thing I was kind of looking at, but I wasn't playing around with too much because it was like, I think colored highlights with the Commonwealth Cuts kind of does the job. But there is another one I have too with ponytail stuff, but we'll talk about that later. Enhanced blood textures, pretty basic, just makes the blood look a lot better. The Flood Lingerie, I mean, if you're doing a female character, I thought I'd highlight this one, throw it in here. I think my current character is male, yeah, on this modded save, so it just gives you a bunch of different options, so you get some better looking stuff. Because when you take off the regular clothing of your characters, it looks terrible. Like, it's pretty bland, so this one just gives you a little bit more options there. Ponytail hairstyles. So this one, 32 new ponytail hairstyles for your Fallout 4 characters. So if you're into the ponytails and stuff, this is a side one. But the reason I have this one is it pairs with the Loving Piper, which is a different kind of mod to make Piper look a little younger, a little different. So I quite like that one. So that one pairs with the ponytails. So a lot of these are like ones that do this thing and then you do that thing on top of it. We talked about the renovated decorations pairing with the other one. Tiny Workshop is a really cool one because it does like little small things, the immersive toilet paper rack, little potted plants. It's a small little thing, but it's a nice little quality of life improvement. Again, it's like a tiny little thing, but stuff that kind of makes your house a little bit more cozy. I know it's silly, but weightless ammo, which is a good one for weightless ammo and stim packs. You can kind of achieve the same thing with the cheat terminal, which is like one of the must-have mods for your Xbox experience. But I want to highlight this one separately in case somebody doesn't want to do crazy cheating, but they just don't want the weight of ammo and stim packs holding them down, and that's a good option. So the cheat terminal is like you can cheat anything, like it's God mode, spawning, teleportation, all kinds of stuff. Like this one, it's a must-have. It's probably the most important mod you can have out of all the mods. Like again, I love the way that the green in the Commonwealth kind of changes the world, and I've highlighted a couple. Like I'm like, oh, these are like great, and blah blah blah. But this is like the definitive must-have kind of mod because it allows you to change so many basic elements of the game, and it covers all of them. Instead of having like several different mods that do all this different stuff, this one covers everything, and you just put in a holotape. It's super easy to use. We talked about that one. Unlimited combat followers, which somebody gave me this one, it's just people that shoot you and stuff. And then the companions one is, the companions one is a different one, and you can kind of get that covered under the cheat terminal. And anyways, so you have more followers, and it's a nice little option to have, so that's why I highlight this one. Just new female animations, again, if you're doing like a run with like a female character, you get 271 animated or animations that have been edited and changed. So this one's a really good one for just more a realistic movement and stuff. And then colored workshop lights, because I like to change the lights of the workshop. From the Series X one, I have removed the 4K night skies, because I think that's a little much for the Series S. See, for the Series S video, it's a little bit more about like removing a bit of the bloat, as to say, to try to get it a little easier going for the Series X, or for the Series S in comparison to the Series X. They are different consoles. I know, as shocking as it sounds, they have different capabilities and everything like that. So the skies I moved down, and I got rid of the Mojave Mantises just because I was like, I don't know. But yeah, like obviously the fidelity and stuff like that is nowhere near where it is on the Series X side of things, but I think this mod actually still, even with the lower resolution, is decent enough for quality, and it just kind of makes the world look a lot better. But if you are finding that this is too much of a downgrade in terms of like how well things perform for you, as I did say earlier, choosing just the regular grass type is a totally fine option for you to do. And the other crows, they don't even care. They're just like, whatever, he just got like vaporized, but it's like, we just chilling. we just living our lives. So yeah, from a visual aesthetic, those are your kind of grass options, and I hope giving you a choice kind of allows you to pick what you want. Because I showed it off in the PS5 video, but it's just grass kind of everywhere, and it's just like a lot less density that you get from this mod is the basic grass one. So I'm kind of like, if I reloaded it and showed it to you, it'd just be like a simpler grass. It has a nice effect to it, particularly like downtown and everything, but yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. So other things, the Master Chief outfits, pretty standard. To use your chem station and then you can color and change them. It's kind of sweet. I'm hoping they maybe give us, like, I don't know if there are other ones. I didn't see one. It would be pretty awesome if we could have, like, Mark 6 armor, or maybe some of the other Spartan armors. I noticed that there was, like, I think the Evo armor was an option. But I was kind of like, Mark 5 is pretty cool, but yeah, I'd love a Mark 6. Like, this is so ridiculously authentic. I wish there was an easier way for me to, like, showcase that to you, but yeah, it's kind of like it's nice. And then this is supposed to make the Pip-Boy easier to use in this, and yeah, okay, well, I guess it kind of does, but yeah, anyways, it's sweet armor. It's worth it, right, Piper? And then there's the Piper mod. Again, she has her style, she has her look. I just think it kind of gives her like a different sort of appearance that's more younger and kind of matches what I sort of think of Piper as, like someone that's a little bit less aged and a little, well, I mean, she'd be kind of grizzled because of the wasteland, but they make Piper in the game look rather aged a bit compared to like the way she talks and the rebellious attitude and stuff. And I think it just more tonally fits Trash Can Carla. I hate Trash Can Carla. I think it just more tonally fits Piper style, or at least what I think of her. And that's why I kind of do that particular mod. So obviously we should go to the downtown. Strangely, I don't even remember the Modular armor that didn't supposed to be having a better use of the Pip-Boy actually having this Pip-Boy kind of rub over issue. That's kind of funny. Huh. That's very, very weird. But as I did say, like, loading is slower across the board. Once you get into the game, though, the loading isn't as bad, but when you're doing the first initial load, it can be pretty brutal. Oh, and it's raining, of course it is. So that's going to make the performance really, really tank here. But it's actually... kind of thought it would be worse. It's not bad, I guess, all things considered. Trying to make sure I'm kind of going over all of the different mod options that are sort of present here. Because, again, there's so many. There's, like, all the settlement ones, but we have to be back at the homestead to kind of show those off. I'll make sure I'm covering all my bases when I'm going over this for you. Well, I guess this would be the true storms. And then we did... Okay, we pull out the lightsaber, the blood. Okay, that stuff. Okay. Pretty basic. Where's my lightsaber? That's not my lightsaber. Zippy powered thing, automatic rifle, machete. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I gotta go to my inventory. Yeah, you know what? I actually think there was less clipping in the other version. Master Chief with a lightsaber. Vroom. You like my blade, Piper? You like my blade? So this would be the true storm, which I would normally take off, but, you know, this is kind of making it even more demanding on this spot, so you could see kind of performance levels, but the Boston downtown is always the most demanding area of the entire game. So this is always the area we go to, where it's kind of like, if you want to see the game buckle, you go into this space. And you can definitely see that there are performance issues, but it's not too bad. And if you were to do the other grass thing, it would be even easier going, honestly. Like, it would be even more simplified, but, you know, again, it's a combination of mods plus Series S, and honestly, the Series X version even has issues in this area. Minus the rain, actually, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, it's just kind of a demanding section that definitely will always buckle the consoles, and I'm hoping at some point down the road we get a more powerful Xbox, then I can come in here and be like, it's finally running with smooth performance, and everyone will be like, oh, that's impossible. I'll be like, I know, right? This part in particular tanks. Like, this area right here is just, like, always so bad. Because you get a combination of, like, creatures and stuff going on. Yeah, well, usually there's enemies. I don't really see where all the enemies are. Whenever I go to do these videos, it's always like, oh, where'd the bad guys go? You know, I'm trying to be like a Jedi Knight and stuff, and it's just like, where are all the foes at? Okay, here we go. We got some rad scorpions. Because I know people like action, and they're like, we need chaos and stuff, and I'll be like, well, you know, you kind of get what you get for the video pop-ups. That is a creepy looking thing. But I hope that kind of gives you an idea, a little bit of the performance. Let's head back. Alright, we're back in the settlement base, because we did have a bit of a crash there, and I was like, okay, well, we still need to show off the building. So for the mod stuff, you will see when things are modded, they will have, like, an M kind of, like, structuring beside them. Like, it'll be like, M for mod, and yeah, that's usually how she goes. Yeah, so it's got, like, an M, and I just want to show off some of the kind of extra building things. Like, you can actually get some really nice looking beds, and as I said, it's more of a comfy quality of life kind of thing, where it's sort of like, oh, you can have new housing and new adjustments and all that beyond the scope of the game, and unlocking everything too for yourself. So mostly about just building a cozier, kind of more stable Fallout experience, which is kind of nice. And I hope you found this helpful for your modding experience.